Hey everybody, Alex Meyer, the Illumineer of Fortune here, and this past weekend I played at the Ink Inc. 10K and 5K, hoping I would make my way up in the world, get some cool tournaments because I gotta wait a minute for Milwaukee, and then Richmond, and then Indiana, so it's nice to have these smaller tournaments to brace ourselves for the bigger ones, but I went into this tournament thinking I was there for rotation, and I ended up being there for Infinity, which was just the better format. But I don't want to dog on rotation too much. I could do that in a separate video. I just wanted to talk about my experience going to a big tournament. And if you want to see my deck list and other things, I'll do that in a future video. But this one I'm going to focus more on the social aspect and how the tournament is ran and my experience as a person. It's like a vlog, but no vlog, It's whatever. Anyways, so I learned about this tournament because Matt Dixon had done a introduction to it and was advertising it on the Illuminateers episode that I was on. So when I was on the Illuminateers episode, I was just watching the rest of the thing. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go to this thing. And it's 11 hours away from me in Maryland, which is not close at all. And I think we were the furthest drivers, probably by a lot. But it was worth it. It was worth, yeah, it was worth it. So on Thursday night or Thursday, no, Friday morning, we drove 11 hours straight to our hotel in Westminster, Maryland, and the hotel was terrible. The days in, it was a wreck, but it was good enough. It was fine. I went there with a few decks because my dad was also playing in both the core constructed and the infinity, so I had to have at least four decks total. I was a little scared that like I was gonna forget one or something like that, but I had some backups, which ended up mattering because my dad switched decks for core constructed. But I was stressed, man. Usually when I go to a DLC, I'm just worried about myself, and it's only one deck, right? It's like, oh, I've just got this one. I've practiced this one deck, but going into an event and needing two different decks is a much bigger deal, and I didn't know that going into it. But yeah, that Friday night they were doing a Meet the Casters event, so and we went to the Westminster Mall and we walked in. The mall is amazing, great mall. And I went to the Bazooka Games section, and when I immediately saw Baker, I was like, "We are here. We have found them." So yeah, there was a lot of casters this weekend that Matt Dixon made sure to get there, which is not cheap. But yeah, the moment I walked in, I saw Matt, and he welcomed me with open arms. And honestly, I can't thank him enough for this weekend because I felt like an MVP the whole time. He made sure to give me attention, anything I needed. He made sure the rules and everything was clear. It was really well run from his part and the rest of the Ink Inc. team. So if you are thinking about going to an Ink Inc. event, I highly suggest it because they will make sure it is great for you as an individual, not just like as a player. Um, but yeah, I walked in and they were doing this Meet the Casters event, and at the moment when I walked in, they were not casting, they were streaming Allies on the Other Side for Colors Law, so, or Coleslaw, it's Colors. Um, so I didn't really get to meet them right away, but after that, I got my playmat. My playmat is right here, which, okay, I just dropped my stuff. So my playmat here, you can barely, it's like in gold, but I got Matt Dixon's signature, and then I got J-Baum, and I just kind of went down and like it's really hard to see on there. But anyways, I got a lot of signatures. It was really cool. When they finished streaming the L's on the Other Side episode, I I caught Baker, I caught Kawa, I caught uh, other people who weren't in the Allies on the Other Side thing. I got a little earlier, like Kurt Spice and Logan Xenolis. But just so many cool people that I had met online and I know from streaming and content creation, but I've never met in person, and this is my first experience with like actual Lorcana content creators, and I thought it was really cool because a lot of them knew me vaguely from either the Illuminateers or just the deck list that won the 1K. Surprisingly, still can't believe that deck won a 1K. But it was really cool getting to know all these people with their face, like they are the people that they see online. It was really cool. And they always say don't meet your heroes, but I couldn't suggest it more because they were even better in person than they are online. They're so cool. And I also got Lorcana Villain and JDZ Quest to sign two of my four foil just in times, which I'm saving the next two for other people. But I got to play those on stream, which was really cool. So when I show the stream game in whatever future video, you'll get to see the signed ones. It was really cool. It was just a great weekend overall. Starting already on Friday, where I get all these signatures, meet all these cool people. So awesome to come to an event and just meet all these people I look up to. But then we go to day two, where I was supposed to be getting an interview from J-Baum about my red green location deck, which I think he mentioned on stream. I'd have to rewatch that. But we were supposed to follow me, except I just started losing and I felt really bad about it. But yeah, on day two, I brought a red green location deck that I had been practicing like crazy. I was like, this deck's gonna do so well. Issue that I found about this meta, it's either you're Amethyst, you're consistent and awesome and you control the board. You're aggro, you go under Amethyst and you're consistent that way. Or you're a combo deck that goes to counter Amethyst. And it's not a great meta. Other people love it, but for me, not a huge fan because I was sitting there like, well, my hand isn't good, I lose. But their hand is okay and they win because it's Amethyst. It's just like, ugh. I felt bad. So yeah, I round one Blurple and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. In my hand, there's so many times where I was like, if I found one card, if I found a location or a Goofy or a Daisy, I win this game. But I just couldn't find it. And I think that's the issue with the meta overall right now. Like I said, I don't want to get into it too much, but just not a great feeling when you're one card behind from winning. Um, yeah, just But I did win a game against Amber Steel, which is just such a good matchup for me. I would love to see Amber Steel all day speed up. I was expecting a lot more Amber Steel since it did so well at Southside, but whatever. Everyone's sticking to Amethyst. Just the Dumbo prices were crazy, by the way. Dumbo's there. They started off at like 75, and they just kept raising them because people were buying them. Like I guess if they never stopped selling, why not raise the price? I guess that's the case. I don't know, I thought it was kind of crazy. I don't own any Dumbos, but I'm also not paying 120 for a Dumbo. It'll go down eventually, I think. Anyways, yes, this weekend was a lot of Amethyst, and I didn't really like Saturday. I didn't like this day one event. I just didn't feel great. And after round four, I dropped and I played into a side event. I switched decks, and I did great at first, and then I just completely fumbled. I went 2-0-2-0 and then 0-2-0-2, and I did not make my money back that day. So it was just kind of a big loss for me and my dad. Not the greatest feeling on that day one. So I was a little discouraged going into day two, where it was Infinity, and I was like, I feel good about Infinity because we know the meta. We've been playing it for 2 years. Like, it hasn't really changed that much. It's just the only difference is Hiram and Fortisphere are unbanned. And okay, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think Hiram and Fortisphere are that bad anymore. In set seven, it was like a super dominant deck. With Sapphire Steel is just like the best. Even though we started finding counters, it was like you can only counter it so much. But now it doesn't feel so bad. And maybe I'm crazy, but Infinity is a really fun format right now. I think the Sapphire decks kind of have been slowing down pre-rotation. Like I feel like Sapphire decks just weren't as good, but now they're back like on top, and we get Fortis for Hiram. It's kind of cool. It's really cool. I don't know. I'm a big fan of where the item decks are right now. But beyond that, I played Amber Emerald just in time in honor of Nathan Chartrand, the Purple Pansy, because he played at Southside Gaming's Invitational and got 13th, losing his win in on stream. Oh my gosh, this guy. So I wanted to do him better. Just play his deck but win with it. I did change. I got rid of Big Clarabelle because Big Clara's Bell is it's just not that good. It's not that good. It's not worth adding to it. Like okay, if your deck caps out at 5, don't play a 7 drop. That's like imagine you top deck that. That's the worst feeling. It's like worse than top decking Jit because you could play it, but you just can't afford it because you only inked to 5. I don't know. It's just a bad feeling. Either way, ton of fun in Infinity, and I ended up placing fourth. It was kind of a weird. I split with Wonderland to make top cut, and then after we split the top eight money, and three of the people just left, which I've never had happen before. But I guess like we already got the money. We were playing for like a giant Elsa, kind of similar like this big tink I have from the Jackson Warren Memorial Summer SmackDown Championship. But I think it was bigger, and it was signed by all the casters, so you know, a little cooler than this, but still really awesome. Still really awesome. Anyways, yeah, it was just such a great weekend, and getting to meet all these people, and I would like in between rounds meet someone that I knew from online or just a player I'd met somewhere else at a DLC or something. It was just so cool. I've never had so many people like together at once that I knew that were just random people, but I guess it's just what happens in time in a TCG. Eventually, you meet most of the big competitive players, right? It's just weird because I'm so far away. I don't get to meet these people on the regular. I know people are like, I learned something that a lot of people had an issue with. For like, I've never like someone mentioned that Kurt Spice had never won a set champ. I was like, what do you mean he's never won a set champ? It's because he's playing against absolute crazy people every time he plays the game. Where like here in Illinois, we don't have as many pro players, big competitive scene, where it's like it's not as bad. Anyone can win here, which is a big difference there. Apparently, it's like there's four people who win all the set champs. It's kind of weird, kind of different, but it's cool to learn that like the East Coast has all these big players, and so set champs and stuff feel a little more competitive. There's probably also a lot more set champs down there, I'd guess. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I had a ton of fun this weekend, and like I said before, cannot suggest an Ink Ink event more, just more than anything else. Like it was so fun. I've been to a few big 1Ks and stuff. This is just so cool. A 2 day event also makes it really nice. There were some issues, like just organization things they didn't really have completely in line, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. It was whatever. They had some artists there too, which was really cool. It felt kind of like a DLC, honestly. It was like a mini DLC, which was really cool. But I had a lot of fun, and I just please go to the next one. I know it was bad because it was the same time as CCS, so it was like half the people at CCS, half the people here. All we had all the cool casters though. Sorry, Liam, except Liam, but we had like a lot of cool casters. It was so fun. It was so fun. It really was. I suggest going. Saturday was not fun, but Sunday was because Infinity is the better format. Please, please bring me Infinity set chips. I know it's not a thing. I went to my locals yesterday, and I looked at the set champ form, and it says core constructed. I was like, oh, I want to play Infinity so bad. But oh well, I got to deal with core constructed, which is just my kryptonite at the moment. At least blue green decks, man. Get blue green out of here. Anyways, yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'm gonna make these videos over the decks and go more in depth over my individual experiences with players and other decks and the matches, I guess. But I'll do that in a separate video. So thank you for watching this one as I just explain the event to you, talk about how it went. It was a lot of fun, so much fun. I can't. It was fun. Just go. 11 hours was a lot. 22 hours of driving to go to a 10K and a 5K, but I would do it again, even though I didn't drive. But like, whatever. It was, it was really cool. And also merch. Link down below if you want it, before it becomes cool. Also, okay, one last thing. I was asked to sign things. I was recognized at this event, which is crazy, but I signed two cards and I signed two mats, which I don't have a signature for Fortune yet, so they're all different, but I'm gonna get there, and that's cool. So, you know, if you've ever had the experience of someone asking you to sign something, you know like how weird that is at first, but it was really cool. Just glad that like the Lumineers got me somewhere where people were like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from that Lumineers episode." I'm like, "That's crazy," but it's cool, and hopefully, I know when I was there, I looked at the casters. I'm like, "This is what I want to do." I really would love to cast. I think that'd be super fun. Like please let me cast. Um, but it was. I've talked too much. I gotta make the other videos. So I will see you in the next one.